Greetings, Empire Builders. Welcome to our Empire Builder Show, where the prominent company founders and CEOs are sharing their top secrets of building sustainable businesses that create global impact. Brick by brick, in every single episode, we are going to unveil the fundamentals of building an empire. I'm your host, Valerie Prasetyo. Today, we have a topic that is very relevant to the current world situation. I think when we are talking about building a sustainable business, we should take into account some external factors that affect our businesses. But what is the most important? The external factors that affect businessmen and women who are behind these empires, basically the founders. It's so important nowadays to talk about and raise actually this topic, mental health and stress management. And I'm very grateful and excited that we have an amazing special guest today, Dr. Manel Chikh. Let me invite her in our studio and also introduce her. Serial entrepreneur Dr. Manel Chikh has dedicated the last 20 plus years to improving the lives of oncology and chronic disease patients worldwide, revolutionizing the healthcare industry in many ways and in many multinational pharmaceutical companies. Three-time entrepreneur, teacher, speaker, board member, and consultant within healthcare, Manel is a leading international figurehead in the industry. She's also a teacher and executive member on several boards, for example, My Simple Pharma, dedicated to protecting families at home from medication misuse. She founded the healthcare consultancy company Gudrun to support foreign companies in elaborating their commercial market access, regulatory strategy, and operational plan for the EMEA region. And finally, My Bubble Health, a medical technology company focusing on newborns, children, and young adults, which mission is to use state-of-the-art artificial intelligence, engineering, and deep technology to develop a unique set of tools to monitor health, prevent serious illnesses, ensuring an effective, tailored follow-up, and reinforcing the connection with parents and family. Dr. Manel constantly shares her know-how and experience in healthcare, entrepreneurship, and self-development on many platforms and in international conferences. She is an ambassador of the Womanity Foundation, which mission is to accelerate gender equality through innovative investments. Lately, Manel co-founded with the French deputy Miss Amélie Lacraffy a foundation named La Fibre, which mission is to support the French associations worldwide involved in local charity and mutual aid. She has a lot of dedications, long list of achievements, and let's welcome our amazing special guest in our virtual studio.
Hi,
Hello, Manel. Welcome to our Empire Builder.
Thank you for the nice introduction. I'm really pleased to be here. And
Whoa.
Congratulations for this show.
Wow. Thank you very much. You have an incredible experience in the healthcare industry, and I think during so many years of working with people from all over the world, you helped lots of them to really start living completely different level of life, experience different lifestyle, and you're doing amazing work and amazing project to entrepreneurship. Like we entrepreneurs, we do face some sort of stress on a daily level. And maybe you cannot really eliminate it like 100%, or maybe you can, and maybe you have some strategies and tools to share with us. But at least when you are aware about these tools and strategies, how to prevent, how to minimize, or even fully eliminate, you can actually move in this direction, because when we are stress relieved, we are more creative, we are more tuned in with our purpose, we build completely different relationships on a deeper level with our partners, investors, whoever it is, in order to bring our business further. So maybe you can share some experience and some tools.
Yeah, thank you, Valerie. Absolutely. I think a lot of people are considering stress as a major threat, right? So we tend to put, the negative on the stress. I would say more than eliminating stress or avoiding stress is how to live with it, how to consider stress in your life, your daily life, and how to live with it. It's like when you speak about fear, we hear so much people say, "Oh, I want to beat fear. I want to be fearless. I want to be like, have no fear in my life." And this is not possible because we are built with fear because we have built, with our nervous system from million years to overcome, like to survive in survival mode, to prevent danger. If you don't fear danger, so you can be killed. So basically, we have to live with it and find ways to live with it. And when it comes to entrepreneurship, of course, you have this fear of failure that comes with the package. When you have an idea and you start, this entrepreneur life, you have this fear that comes with you. Same, I would say, even in a career, when you work in corporates and you want to climb the ladder, you are an ambitious person. So you will have fear, like you will fear not to move to the next level, fear not to get the next job, fear not to be appreciated and fear not to attain your objectives. So basically, this fear that comes with the stress has to be part of you, and that you acknowledge it. And you said, okay, I think the technique is more about how to acknowledge it and said, okay, I am feeling fearful about this situation. This is normal. So how can I continue the path, take into consideration this fear rather than avoiding it? But it has to be part of the environment where you evolve, I would say.
That's a great point, because everything starts from accepting it, building this awareness, and then you actually build up the strategies that work for you, and also find the tools, because we can talk about so many tools and so many strategies, but doesn't mean that it works maybe for every single person, the same set of tools. But it's great to explore, and it's great to raise this topic, because a lot of people, especially women, whether they live in denial or whether they feel like, oh, if I'm going to, like, I'm successful entrepreneur, I'm running like a multinational multi-million company, how can I admit that, like, I have some weaknesses, or I'm dealing with some hard situations in life? But we're all human beings, and success is not only about numbers, it's also about the way how you live every single day.
Absolutely. And I think in that dimension, when we come to focus on women, it's another thing also is the cultural approach. The cultural approach for a woman has to be a mother, has to take care of the family. She is the healer of the family. You still hear that the woman is the center and the healer of the family. If a woman is not fine, all the family will have consequences. And if you want to be an entrepreneur and you are a woman and you have kids, so basically you want to be perfect everywhere. And this perfection that you tend to reach, where is it coming from? Where is it coming from? From your education, your environment, the situation where you are. So basically, maybe ask question and think about, why should I be perfect? Perfection is not a purpose. Perfection is a state that you put in your mind because it comes from somewhere. Basically, not from you. So you have seen it somewhere else and you are trying to do the same thing. But perfection is absolutely not an objective. The objective, I would say, for someone is the purpose when you're an entrepreneur, when you are building a super career in a corporate business. It's to, what is my purpose? What am I happy about when I'm doing this? What am I achieving when I'm doing this? It can be small things. You don't need to save the world. The big purpose is saving the world, changing the world. Yeah, this is the big ones. But what is changing the world are the small steps, the small purposes that everybody has into mind. This is the one that will save the world and change the world for a better one. But basically, I would say, find your purpose. What are you good at? What are you passionate about? You can have many passions and one purpose. And what is the thing that drives you in the morning? Like you think about in the morning, of course, your family, but also what is drive you to go out and do things and be joyful and be happy every day. And this is the right purpose.
Yeah, like fix yourself first. Fix your
Absolutely.
own environment and world, and then you can actually start really changing this world.
Absolutely. And Valerie, something is very important. The most important person in the world is you. The most, and this is not egoistic, this is not selfish. The person you will getting old with is you. The person you will die with is you. Like you are the one. Like people will come and go, love come and go, like business come and go, money come and go. You are the one, the only one that will stick there. And the only person that should be important for you first is you. Because if what you are saying, fix yourself, I would say there is no problem with yourself. Like progress, develop yourself if you want, learn, like expand yourself, have fun. Life is a game, have fun, enjoy every step, be joyful, be energetic. And the way that you will behave will transmit to others. You will communicate to others. So the first thing I would say is like the most important person in your life when you wake up and when you sleep is yourself.
Yeah, I cannot agree more. And I have a little bit like tricky question because
Yes.
in some of our conversations you mentioned that when it comes to working with people, because you have so like kind of wide range of services and way also channels how you are helping people. You also
Yeah.
mentioned that you have a holistic approach, right? And it's very interesting how this shift happened and how it works together with your background, basically having all these experiences as well as projects, current projects with the pharmaceutical companies. So when did it shift happen? Maybe you can share the story and how you actually put all these things together.
Absolutely. So I have been working, as you know, for many years, 20 years in the pharma industry, mainly in chronic diseases, and most of the time on cancer treatments. Probably because my father died when I was 18 years old from cancer, lung cancer, in 6 months diagnosed and died. So I dedicated my life in like handling chronic diseases. Many people in my family has diabetes and cancer, so I have been working on that, on the business side, working worldwide with many countries in 33 countries, where I was like working to develop products, onco products, and sell them around the world. And I met a lot of association, a lot of patients with cancer, and it's something that I saw mainly was like the people who tend to, let's say, evolve like in the treatment and have more remission rates would be the people who, of course, take the treatment, like the medical treatment, but also have been working on themselves from a mindset perspective. So one of the questions I was talking with many people around, like during these 20 years, was why this disease? Why now? Why me? And this was a key question. Why me? Why now? Like 50, 40, sometimes where people where they had a super career, everything in life. And then they finished, like they were now enjoying their time, leaving their job. And then cancer came. So it was like you have different figures, different things, different person that have different type of people who have this cancer or other chronic diseases. And what you tend to see, that's one of the things, of course, is the environment, not only the genetics, because we tend to put everything on the genetics, but there is a lot of affiliation to the environment, which means what do you eat, where do you live, what is the culture, what is the things that you have in mind, what is the stress level that you are living with, what is the situation in your family, what was your childhood, your traumas. And these people that have been more, succeeding in remission rates are the people who have been working on themselves in complement to the treatment. So we hear a lot, alternative medicine is holistic medicine. No, it's not alternative for me. It's complementary. We complement all, the treatment, the medical treatment has to be the key, but still you work around on the mindset, on the traumas. Probably you have traumas that you didn't overcome. And when we talk about trauma, it's not only abuse and physical abuse, can be other kind of trauma that you didn't digest or didn't understand when you were a child. So there is many things that come, and holistic is not just going and do energetic things. or meditation only. It's many things that you can do in order to think about yourself and understand, why now do I have this disease? Why now? And what is this disease teaching me? What am I learning from this disease now that I need to change radically? Maybe it's a chance also to consider that you are not living the right way and you are not in line with your authenticity. Can be that as well. So this is why I have been more into learning about what is holistic, meditation, breathing techniques, energetic techniques. I can listen to many people like Dr. Jody Spenza, like Dr. Gaber. So you have many things that happening around the world where people now tend to more understand what is the holistic approach, whereas before it was like, this is something that is completely out of medical and science, and we are not going to tap into it because it's completely crazy. Now we see that there is results, and when doctors work with all this nutrition, mindset, meditation, breathing technique, energy technique, hypnosis to understand what happens to you when you were younger. So all this kind of thing, when you mixed up all that, you have the best options to heal yourself, I would say, to my opinion.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with this, because it's true that all diseases are in our mind, let's say, or in our mindset, the way we perceive the outside world. And from the other side, the outside world that we see is actually the reflection of our inner world. So it's in a way kind of circle, but it all comes to ourselves. It all
Absolutely.
comes from, as you said, we are like, you are the most important person for yourself. And that's why it's so important nowadays to start exploring, being curious, and even try some new methods, new forms of treatment, new alternative, or as you said, it's complementary ways how you can actually prevent. So much important to prevent any kind of diseases. And I would like to, because you also mentioned the authenticity factor. This is so important when you are living not in a true alignment with yourself, is when actually all the things starts to come out in your life in different forms, whether it's health issues, financial, relationships, like heating, any area of your life. But authenticity is so much important to actually go a little bit deeper in your own analysis. And I would like to invite you in our special segment in Empire Builder Show, is the unspoken truth of Queen. Because Queen in chess game is the most important and intriguing figure. And we are going to explore later more tools and more strategies. But what is also important is the personality. What makes Empire Builder? What makes you, Manel, such an amazing, successful woman who also has family, who is traveling around the world, and who is on a mission? What kind of personality traits make you up? So I use SWOT analysis, not just to analyze businesses, but to analyze personalities. So are you ready to share some, I don't know, maybe some interesting stories, or like your basically strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that you had in life, some internal strengths and internal weaknesses that you could overcome? Maybe you can share some tools how you turn them into strengths, also maybe some opportunities that you had in life that helped you to shape your personality, and some threats, basically how you're dealing with some external factors. It can be culturally related things, it can be I don't know, haters, competitors, whatever it is. So maybe we can start with some strengths.
Yeah, interesting. The SWOT, the personality SWOT, really well done. I would say the strength, I would say I have a strong self-confidence for sure. And I would tell you, I can cope with anything in life. So this is, it's my core thing. I believe it like strongly. Whatever happens in life, I can cope with it. And I can tell you, when I decided to leave, I had a super career. My last job, I was managing 33 countries around the world, you know, on all the oncology products, you know, worldwide, portfolio of $1 billion. So it was like an amazing job, amazing company, amazing friends and teams. And when I left, I decided, because I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, I wanted to launch my first company commercializing anti-cancer treatment in the Middle East and Africa. So I said, okay, I have to leave now. And I was pregnant of 6 months, like 6 months pregnancy.
Oh.
And all my peers were telling me, what are you, crazy? You should stay at least in the corporate. So you have this 6 months and then you have this time off and all is paid and you have your salary. I'm like, no, it's the time. I have to do it now, because now you know how it is in business. There is the idea, but there is also the timing, and the timing is crucial. You can have the best idea if it's out a little bit too late. Competitors are there, and you lose the momentum. So I knew it was now, and I was like 6 months pregnant. I'm like, okay, you know, 6 months. You're like, okay, just before the end, like 3 months, but still like out. Launch the
toughest.
Toughest time. It's like, you are here. I want a baby out. And yeah, I had my 2 babies. First company, my first child. And I can tell you, I can cope with anything. If you are coping with having a baby, a situation, living in a foreign country, leaving your extraordinary job, not the same salary anymore, building your company from scratch, finding the money, finding, the first partnerships, it was like, this is my example for how I can cope with anything, and the strength that I have inside of me that put me into this path.
That's amazing. So what about the weaknesses part?
So the weakness part, I would say, I'm really demanding with myself, so with others. And when I give my trust, I'm really, I don't like to be deceived, because I give trust, I give opportunities to people when I work with. So I give them really responsibilities, real contact, because I want them really to learn and really to work on that. And basically, I am demanding, but I give freedom and opportunity, and I have high expectations. So this is something I have been working on more and more. But you cannot be an overachiever if you have no expectation with the people you work with. So this is why
I understand that.
And I assume, of course, you have to be first person you have expectation with is yourself, because you are the decision maker. You're no more in a corporate world where you don't know where money's coming from, you don't care about it, you have your salary at the end of the day, you achieve your objectives. It's not the same when you have your own company, because everything depends on you. You are the one who motivates everybody. You are the one who people will turn to if there is a problem. You are the one who is pushing the things, and you lead by example. So exemplarity comes with demanding things and be really having high expectation about yourself and the others. So this is key, I would say.
Yeah. What about the opportunities? Maybe some, I don't know, interesting story coming up to your mind. Sometimes life gives us so many opportunities that it can be in the form of challenge, it can be in the form of luck, but it depends how we turn it out and how it helps to develop our personalities. As you also mentioned, for example, living in foreign countries, or it completely changes our mindset, the way we communicate with people, and the way how we're able to, go out and really create a global business.
Absolutely. And you are completely right. Let's say the opportunity for me come for maybe the threats, but let's say I have been, living in Algeria. I'm Algerian and French for until 12. And then there was the civil war. We had to leave because we were threatened, my family, intellectual people. So we had to leave to Morocco, and Morocco, we had to leave because we had a problem. It's with Algeria and Morocco. After 4 or 5 years, we have to leave to France, and it's not the same culture. So I lost my friends because at the time we didn't have Facebook, we didn't have, cell phones or anything. So we didn't have emails even. So basically, I had to reconstruct myself every time. And this led to an opportunity where I can say I adapt to anything. So I started to do the same thing. France, Egypt, Dubai, Switzerland, Madrid. So basically, I love to be, living worldwide and working with different cultures and building things everywhere. So the opportunity that comes from here, from this threat, or let's say this difficult time, is that I can be everywhere, and I love building everywhere. You can tell me tomorrow you go to China and you will do something. Okay, I go and I will do something. I'm not afraid of the cultural barrier or discovering a new country or discovering a new business system. It's something that I have built with my experience and with my family. So, and I mean, it's something that I intend to transmit to my kids, like this love of being everywhere, no fearing of any culture, being like like a fish in the water wherever you go, and being confident in yourself because you can do it and you can restart from scratch. This is something that lead to me, and this is why I'm doing many businesses in different fields. And also another opportunity, like more linked to business for the business women or men that are listening to us. Lately, I have, for example, when I was living in Dubai, I was working with a pediatrician who was the pediatrician of my kids. And whenever I want to go into any country, I was calling him, oh, look, this treatment is different. Like this country, the treatment is different. For example, some countries, they will push for antibiotics, other no. So, and we tend to know each other and say, okay, we need to have something for kids, specifically enhance the relationship between the kids and their families. And my next company that I'm launching next week is about that, how to strengthen the link between families and the kids, specifically premature kids. And this is an opportunity. Why? Because I was traveling everywhere, had this pediatrician who became a friend, and with whom we built this. And this is crazy. This is synchronicity. This is, opportunities that come around your life when you have done all these experiences.
Wow. I think I can totally confirm because I'm actually in Dubai, and when you put together the event, it was like really socially magnetic in a way. And no matter what kind of country you are, like now I think you're in Spain, but you're also in Paris, and like no matter which country, it's always kind of community led by Manel, and you're like, yeah, you can feel it that you can adapt in any kind of culture, and this is like such an amazing skill or an amazing trait of the personality. So the last part is some kind of threats that you can share, how you dealt with this.
Threats you have always threats. When you are in the
nowadays people are facing a lot of things that are connected to what is going on in the world, and I think it's so important to understand that everything is figure outable, and that's why we have so many different stories and example in every episode, because people are facing completely different level of stress or some challenges in life. But just to say, hey, you're not alone, and look, I went through this and these were my tools.
Absolutely, you're right. Yes, no one is alone when it comes to stress and depression. I have my share in depression as well, because I have been leaving families when I was young, and where I was 15 years old, 16 years old in Paris, no friends, just me and my father and mother and before I was in Algeria and Morocco with my family, my grandparents, my aunts, and here we come to Paris, and it was different at the time, And I think I was depressed, and I gained a lot of weight. For example, I was eating, because depression comes with some addictions. And for me, it was the food. And it was really hard, university. And, when I did all this studies, the studies in science, in pharmacology, in pharma for 6 years. So it was hard, but at the end, I had to overcome it myself, because at some point there is enough is enough. One day there is the enough is enough. Now I am who I am. I will stop judging and be judged and accept the judgment of others, and live for me because it's my life. It's not your life, guys. And I tend to work on myself more and more because it's not something that you never, and I learned this, you never overcome something and never come back. You have to accept that maybe one day you will be stressed out, even though you have been doing all the meditations you want, all the things like you buy the book, you still will get maybe depressed one day or one week. And it's not a problem. It's not a problem. This is how we function. We are human being with flaws, and we have to accept it. We are not robots. We have feelings, we have emotions, and unless we cut all ties with the world, we will have this kind of depression. When you open the news, like you are like, oh, and I don't know if you know that, Valerie, but 20% of the young people tend to be depressed in 2020 and 21. I think COVID helped in that, but 1 out of 5 is depressed. And this is the one who has been diagnosed. I'm not talking about the one who has never been diagnosed and never seen a doctor. So we need to accept that depression exists, that it can be linked to trauma or to anything or to the environment. We see that with the social media, there is more depression because social media encourage depression, not depression, but encourage comparison, which goes to depression because you compare yourself to your friends, to other people, to people who has money, who has
space in a way.
And for that, I would say my tools were to detoxify. Of course, I need and I use the social media for promotion, but to detoxify from that, I don't follow the people where I will react with comparison. Why you follow them? Like, stop following people that are not giving you, the joy. Like anything.
This is the paradox. Sometimes social media can be a source of inspiration, but for some people they use it like in a trash. This is a trash bin, right? Like they put so many negative comments sometimes, like to people like who especially have like big following, and the question is, why don't you unfollow? If it's nothing really works for you?
And I'm doing that. You have to do it every month and follow the people who you are not really happy with at the end, or you are not like you follow because others follow, but at the end you are not learning anything positive in your life. If it has to be inspiring. Like you can follow entrepreneurs and people successful and say, okay, this is the story I want to build. This is an inspiration for me. And you need that because, as you know, the 5 people you spend the more time with or you watch the most are the people that you will become. So it's the standard. You need to follow people that you want to become if you are younger or if you want to do something. And yeah, social media can be really complicated. You have to manage the fact that nothing is real, that there is a lot of fake, going on in the social media. So, and for that, you have to know yourself. And it's complicated to know yourself. I'm 40 and I'm still, learning every day. And you need to know that it's okay to learn. We are here in this world to learn, to experience, to grow until we die. This is the thing. It's not like I'm doing a job, waiting for retirement, and pause. This is not the real life. Life is to grow. It's to do many things. It's to have failures. It's to stand up for your convictions, for your purpose, to step down because something is happening to you, but it's okay. Take the time to go back. But it's like when you learn a new language. For example, so my English is not perfect, but I learned it by being in Switzerland, like living there completely with the, international community when I went there. And I'm like, okay. And I was working only in English, writing email in English, nothing else. And your English is not like this. It's like up, you go back, you go like you learn like it's not linear, and it's the same life. And failures are important. And failures, it's not like you are not good, is you tried something where 95% of the people in the world will not do. So you are part of the 5% of the world who said, okay, I have an idea, I stick to it. Whenever happens around me, I will test it on my close friends. I will see how it goes. I will test it in the market. I will find a support group that will help me go through that. I will find real people who will tell me the things, not the people who will tell you, oh, this is beautiful, go for it. Like real people say, okay. And then I will go from there. And you need to have all these steps, and you need to have this energy, and you need to be surrounded with energetic people, not people who will tell you, will show on you their fears. People who will be energetic, supporting you no matter what.
Yeah.
This is my tool. And in terms of Valerie were saying, what is other tools? I would say breathing. Breathing. I don't know if you know the method of Wim Hof, the Iceman. He has a breathing technique that is excellent. You can find it for free on YouTube. It's 10 minutes breathing technique, morning, evening. It's super powerful. You feel your body, you feel stressless, and you feel really powerful in the morning. So I start with this meditation, this breathing technique, and then Joe Dispenza meditation. I tend to do some of his meditation, feeling supernatural, vision board, envision your life, envision your day, how you want to have a joyful day. And I start asking, the universe or God, saying, okay, how can I be the best version of myself today? How can I stop judging anybody today and be really happy today? How can I make things happen today? And I start my day working.
Wow. Thank you for sharing the tools. And I completely agree that breathing meditations are really changing the way of your functioning. I would also add the meditation that I'm using during the last, I believe, weeks. It calls Haponopono meditation. I think it's originated in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And with this meditation, you can heal not just only yourself, but any kind of situation in life. And we were just talking about depression. There's just, I believe, a signal that something does not really work in your life, some specific area. Sometimes we don't want to face this truth. Sometimes we are closing our eyes on specific things because maybe it's comfortable to stay where we are. Maybe we just don't want to go in this self-work because for some people it's really work. But if you change your mind and consider it something like it's like an adventure, the self-discovery adventure, where you piece by piece fixing area and just like magic turning into something that you really enjoy by yourself to live this life, enjoy to share with other people, with your partner, with your kids, and then with your friends, I don't know, neighbors, whomever it is. It can be exciting journey, of course, with the elements of sometimes pain, but that's how we grow. So thank you very much for
Absolutely.
your authenticity and sharing these amazing tools. I think you, our amazing viewers, are taking some notes and really going after this episode, going back and research the tools that Dr. Manel just mentioned. I know that you are, and just already mentioned that you are creating and working on a lot of exciting projects. And you also mentioned that in a week you're going to launch your another baby, another project. So maybe you can share more about them, about your latest projects.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. So my first company is called Zafir Pharma and dedicated to commercialize pharmaceutical products in treating, rare diseases, chronic diseases around the world, and specifically the Middle East and Africa. So, and what we do is we tend to help local countries localize the production of anti-cancer treatment. So giving them the know-how so they can produce locally and not depend on external factors to have these treatments. So this is my first baby. I have been working on a consultancy company when I was living in Dubai, because many companies, multinational or even startups, when they want to expand in the Middle East and Africa region, they don't know by where to start. And so we help them with courage and establish themselves, understand the business, and give them advice on how to structure themselves in this region and how to work in this region successfully. I have been also working on boards. My Simple Pharma is a company that the founder built in order to help families around the world avoid misusage of medicines at home, because we see that there is a lot of problems with self-medication, parents with kids, adults alone, doing their self-medication. Sometimes they do mistakes, and we have many cases in emergency or even more than that and more little, consequences. So this is why we built My Simple Pharma, in order to help all the families at home with advices from doctors, from pharmacists, helping them in case they have any questions night and day, without being obliged to go to see a doctor. So this is My Simple Pharma, and my last baby is My Bubble Health. So My Bubble Health is the company that I built with a pediatrician, my associate and other people. We are 10 in the company, and we are launching this company in order to revolutionize the healthcare, children healthcare, and the family link. So we tend to see that there is a lot of treatments that around here, like that are worldwide here, and maybe not very adapted to children. So what we want to do is to focus on the children from newborns through young adults, and using AI, medical technology, engineering, e-health, connectivity, in order to help newborns, premature newborns, young adults, screen, we help them to identify any sickness, and also help them in the treatment approach. So clearly this is my new baby, and will be out next week everywhere in social media. So yeah, I'm really excited to launch this. And as you mentioned, part of my dedication and purpose, a part of the foundations that we have been doing for women, and also for expatriates, around the world. Something that I do is teaching in business schools and pharma students, young employees starting working in the corporates or starting their business. And I tend to also advise a lot of new CEOs, founders, starting, they have the idea, they don't know how to put it into action. So usually they call me, and we work on a plan, and I help them from a personal perspective, but also business perspective, to realize their ideas. So I think it's very important, and this is why I understand really well the mindset nowadays, where entrepreneurs are more afraid to launch, to go out there, because they are afraid of the future, and maybe the money thing, and maybe many things in the environment that is not convincing them to go out. So I tend to help them, realize, and we have been realizing 5 businesses already, and really happy, and it's worldwide. I have CEOs in Dubai, CEOs in Europe, CEOs in Africa. So it's really worldwide, and this is linked to what we're saying. The strength is to be worldwide and understand worldwide what is business, and how you go through the idea and achieve it and go to action.
Yeah. Wow. I think there are so many people who will be interested in, one thing is the idea, but as you said, timing is also crucial, specific skills, and the plan how you're going to make this idea come true. But anyway, if people are interested to learn more about your projects, or they want to be part of it, or simply they would love to have consultancy on starting step by step building their empire, because one thing is to launch, to be a self-employed, another thing is to create business, and another thing is to be a serial entrepreneur. How do people can find you? Maybe what is the best platform? Maybe you can share, and we will also put the link here. People can reach out to you.
Thank you. Yes. So I would say 2 platforms. I'm not going everywhere. I would say LinkedIn is the best platform to reach CEOs, or young entrepreneurs, or people, founders. They reach me on LinkedIn. So Manel Chikh on LinkedIn. And the other thing is Instagram. I have an account on Facebook, but Facebook is mainly it's mainly for the friends, but also it's open to any people. But it's not really business for me. Instagram, Manel Bubble, at Manel Bubble, and I think you will share the link here in Instagram as well. I'm there, and I tend to talk to the community and help anyone that wants that. So, for example, I had 1 month ago on Instagram a request for someone who I met 5 years ago when I was speaking in an event, and she's a woman, a powerful woman, and she was building a cosmetology company, and she was telling me, hey, can you give me some advices? So I gave her some advices, and now we end up, after 2 to 3 months working together and me being involved in her company as a shareholder, and
Wow.
and doing that. So yeah, there is opportunities, and if you want to reach me out, please do not hesitate between LinkedIn and Instagram, and I will get back to you ASAP.
So just check the links, and we have a tradition in Empire Builder Show. At the end, we set an intention. So basically, I invite all our viewers to think about what you're going to achieve in the upcoming week. Set some small goal or something that you really want to accomplish. And while you're doing this, we are turning Manel to a fortune teller, and just you see on the screen 10 cards. Just name any number from 1 to 10.
3.
Number 3. The answer is you. You can have the most incredible tool in your hands, build the most productive team, come up with the most creative strategies, but if you are not fixed, nothing will be. Focus on your well-being and inner state. That is so
Absolutely in line with what we said.
exactly what we were mentioning today. I think you learned so many different tools, strategies, and also you can actually probably you feel some kind of inspiration that everything in this life is figure outable. It's all about generating this living, inspiring energy inside of yourself. So thank you very much, Manel, for sharing your sparkle, your wisdom, your knowledge today with us.
Thank you for inviting me. It was so interesting. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed this episode and got some inspiration and knowledge that can bring you one move further in building your empire.